I found another girl's lipstick on my husband's shirt. He claimed it was blood. I've never been the kind of wife to check up on my husband, much less inspect his clothing. But that evening, as I sorted through the laundry, my hand paused over a light blue dress shirt he'd worn to work earlier in the week. I wasn't even thinking when I picked it up, just caught up in the routine of folding and sorting, until I saw the stain. A pinkish red smear, just by the collar. It looked unmistakably like lipstick. For a second, I just stared at it, a strange numbness filling me. Then I heard the front door open, followed by the heavy thud of keys tossed onto the kitchen counter. He was home. I took the shirt and walked downstairs, finding him leaning against the counter, scrolling through his phone. "Eli?" My voice was calm, too calm. He glanced up, surprised to see me holding his shirt. "Hey, Sarah. What's up?" He flashed me his usual easygoing smile, but there was a hint of hesitation in his eyes as he looked at the shirt. "Is something wrong?" I held up the collar, pointing to the stain. "I found this on your shirt." He blinked, leaning forward as if he needed a closer look, then gave a small, dismissive shrug. "Oh. That's blood, babe." I frowned. "Blood?" "Yeah." He nodded, setting his phone down. "I got a nosebleed at work the other day. Must have gotten it on my shirt without noticing." I looked at him, my heart pounding, feeling the first sting of suspicion. "A nosebleed? You've never gotten one before." "Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? But it just happened." He shrugged again, as if that was the end of the story, but I wasn't ready to let it go. "It looks like lipstick, Eli." My voice was softer now, each word carefully measured. He laughed, a forced, awkward sound. "Lipstick? Are you serious, Sarah? Come on." "Yes, Eli, I'm serious." I set the shirt down on the counter between us. "How am I supposed to believe this is blood? It's pink. You really want me to believe that?" His face turned defensive, his jaw tightening. "Sarah, I'm telling you the truth. You think I'd lie to you about something like this? It was a nosebleed, and that's it. You're being paranoid." "Paranoid?" I could feel my frustration rising, the disbelief twisting in my stomach. "Maybe I wouldn't be paranoid if you didn't come home smelling like a perfume that I don't own." Eli sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Are you serious right now? I've told you, I was at work. I didn't do anything. And I can't help it if someone at the office wears a strong perfume." "Why didn't you wash the stain out then?" I pressed. "If it was blood, wouldn't you have noticed and tried to clean it?" He gave me an exasperated look. "I didn't even see it, Sarah. I've been busy, in case you haven't noticed. I'm trying to make partner, remember?" I crossed my arms, the disbelief hardening into something sharper. "So, let me get this straight. You got a random nosebleed, got blood on your shirt without noticing, didn't clean it, and now you're coming home smelling like someone else's perfume. And you want me to just believe it was an accident?" Eli clenched his jaw, his eyes narrowing. "Yes, Sarah. I'd really like you to believe me because it's the truth. I can't believe you'd even think I'd cheat on you." I opened my mouth to respond, but before I could say anything, our daughter, Sophie, came running down the hall, holding a stuffed animal. "Mommy. Can you help me with Teddy's dress?" She looked up at me with those big eyes of hers, innocent and unaware of the tension brewing between her parents. I swallowed, forcing a smile. "Sure, honey." I knelt down, helping her fix the tiny Velcro strap on her bear's dress, and watched as she ran off again, satisfied with her newly dressed toy. When I stood up, Eli was watching me, his expression softened, almost pleading. "Sarah. Can we please not do this in front of Sophie? She doesn't need to see us arguing." "Fine." I lowered my voice. "But this isn't over. Not until I understand what's really going on." The next few days were tense, filled with half-answered questions and unspoken suspicions. Every time I saw him, I felt that gnawing feeling in the pit of my stomach. But I kept it to myself, trying not to jump to conclusions. One evening, while he was in the shower, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. It was a message. I hesitated, feeling guilty, but the curiosity and suspicion were too strong. I picked it up. The message preview on the screen read, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Same time?" My heart dropped. My hand started to shake as I scrolled through his messages. I found more from an unsaved number, messages that were vague but unmistakably suggestive. The sound of the water stopped, and panic flooded me. I put the phone back down and hurried out of the room, my mind racing. When Eli came out of the shower, he found me sitting on the edge of the bed, my face pale. "Sarah, are you okay?" He looked genuinely concerned, but I couldn't take it anymore. "Who's texting you, Eli?" My voice was barely a whisper. He froze, his face going through a series of expressions before he settled on a careful smile. "What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me." I looked him in the eye, feeling the betrayal like a weight on my chest. I saw the messages. "Who is she?" He opened his mouth, then closed it again, a flicker of something like guilt in his eyes. "Sarah. Those texts. It's not what you think." "Oh, really?" I snapped. "Because it looks exactly like what I think. You're seeing someone else, aren't you?" "Sarah, please, just listen." He ran a hand through his hair, clearly struggling to find the right words. It's complicated." "Complicated? Complicated?" I felt my voice rising, but I didn't care. What could possibly make this okay? He sighed, sinking down onto the bed. It's someone I work with. But it's not what you're thinking. We've been working late together, and she's been trying to get close to me. But I haven't done anything, Sarah. I swear." "Trying to get close to you?" I repeated, my voice laced with disbelief. "And you just happened to accidentally let her lipstick end up on your shirt?" He shook his head, his face red. "It wasn't intentional. She kissed me, okay? It was one time. I pushed her away. It meant nothing." My chest tightened. "So. It did happen. You let her get that close." He looked at me, helpless. "I'm sorry, Sarah. I don't know what came over me. It was stupid, and I regret it. But I didn't cheat. It was just a mistake." I took a deep, shaky breath, barely able to keep my voice steady. "A mistake?" I said, the words tasting bitter. "A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk on the way home. A mistake is misplacing your keys. Letting another woman get close enough to kiss you. That's not a mistake, Eli." He looked down, the guilt etched deeply into his face. I know. And I'm sorry, Sarah. I didn't think it would go that far. I didn't mean for it to." "You didn't mean for it to?" I shook my head, a disbelieving laugh escaping. "So, what? You just stumbled into this? Or was it something you wanted?" "No," he said quickly, looking up, desperation flickering in his eyes. "No, it wasn't like that. I swear. She's the one who made the move. I didn't want it, Sarah." I pushed her away. I raised an eyebrow, folding my arms tightly across my chest. "And that's supposed to make me feel better? That you let her get close enough to try? That you didn't tell me?" He let out a frustrated sigh, running his hand over his face. "Sarah. I thought it was better if I kept it to myself. I didn't want to hurt you." I couldn't help but scoff. Well, that worked out perfectly, didn't it? Instead, I had to find out by seeing lipstick on your shirt and then reading those messages. You lied to me, Eli. And worse, you hid it." "It wasn't a lie," he muttered, as if convincing himself. It was a bad decision." "Oh, so that's the story you're going with?" My voice had a cold edge, and I could see him flinch. "Tell me, Eli, how many other bad decisions have you made that I don't know about?" He looked up, genuinely hurt. "Sarah, it's not like that. I swear. There's no one else. There never has been anyone else. I made a huge mistake, yes, but it was a one-time thing. I've been faithful to you." "Faithful?" I said, my voice shaking. "You call this faithful? You let another woman kiss you, you lied about it, and you still think I should believe you?" "Please, Sarah, believe me," he whispered, reaching out for my hand. "I don't want to lose you. You're everything to me. I made a stupid mistake, but it's you I love. Only you." I stared at his hand, the hand I'd held so many times, the hand that had always been steady, safe. Now, it felt foreign, tainted. I pulled my hand away, crossing my arms over my chest to shield myself from his touch. "Do you realize how much you've broken, Eli?" I whispered, my voice barely audible. "How can I trust anything you say now? Every time I see you, I'll think of her." "I know," he said, his face drawn, defeated. "But I'll do whatever it takes to make it right. Just tell me. Tell me what you need." I shook my head, a tear slipping down my cheek. "I don't know what I need. I thought I needed you, but now I'm not so sure." He swallowed, his own eyes welling up. "Sarah. Please. I don't want to lose you. We can fix this. We can." "Can we?" I interrupted, feeling the pain of those words stab into me. "How am I supposed to forget this, Eli? How am I supposed to trust you again?" He reached out again, this time catching my hands before I could pull them away. "One step at a time, Sarah. Just give me a chance. I'll show you. I'll prove it to you." I looked at him, my hands limp in his, not quite ready to hold on. "How? How can you prove it to me?" "I'll start by being completely open with you," he said, his voice raw. "No more hiding, no more secrets. You can see my phone, my emails, whatever you need." "That's not enough," I said, pulling my hands free. "I don't want to have to babysit you to trust you. That's not what a marriage is supposed to be." He looked away, a deep sadness settling over his face. I know. But I don't know what else to do, Sarah. I don't know how else to show you that I'm still the same man you married." I laughed bitterly. "The same man I married? I thought he'd never betray me. So no, Eli, you're not the same man I married. Not anymore." He closed his eyes, exhaling a shaky breath. "Then tell me what I need to do to be that man again. Please, just tell me." I stared at him, feeling my heart ache with the enormity of his words. How could he fix this? How could he ever be the same man to me? But in that moment, a flicker of the man I had loved so deeply, the man who had made me laugh, who had been by my side through everything, seemed to reach out from behind his broken expression. I looked down, swallowing hard. "I don't know if I can forgive you," I whispered. His shoulders slumped, and he nodded slowly, accepting my words. "I understand. But maybe forgiveness doesn't have to happen all at once. Maybe it can happen slowly." I shook my head, wiping my cheek. "Maybe. But it's going to take a lot. And if you even think about lying to me again, we're done, Eli. Do you understand?" "Yes," he said quietly. "I understand. And thank you, Sarah, for even considering it. I don't deserve it, but I'll prove to you that I can be the husband you deserve." I nodded, though my heart was far from settled. We sat there in silence, the weight of our conversation lingering in the air. It would be a long road ahead, and I wasn't sure I had the strength to walk it. But for now, I took one cautious step, letting him know that maybe, just maybe, I was willing to try.